name's Pamela Nelson, and this is Weekly Wake Up. On this week's short segment, I've brought the short edge of my mat into the wall. I've placed a chair at the wall, and I've put a blanket at the back of the chair just so that I don't scratch the wall, and it also helps to minimize any movement of the chair. I have a couple of blocks nearby, and I also have a bolster for those that might need. So we will start just facing the chair. In our mountain pose in Tadasana, sink the weight back into the inner outer heel. Let the toes lengthen away from the toe mounds as you spread. The pinky toe mound as far away from the big toe mound as you can. Bend the knees here slightly. Let the lower back lengthen down, and almost as if you were picking up, maybe two big bags of groceries or just big bags of sand or something. That as you straighten the legs, we have to really lift from this chest, the armpit area, engage the core to come up into Tadasana. From here, we'll bring the hands to the seat of the chair to come into a flat back. And for those that maybe are a bit taller or working with any tight hamstrings, back issues, you could place blocks onto your chair. Okay, so raise the height up. Or maybe you need a bolster and blocks, okay, so that you're up a little bit higher. So those are always options. Just watch that you don't have so much height that you really make the shoulders hunch up towards the ears, okay? So you just need to take the amount of height where you can evenly distribute your weight between the legs and the hands, and you really want to know that your legs are supporting you more. So for example, if the chair was to disappear, you could stay upright. Okay, the chair is a support, it will give you support, but you don't want to be leaning so much into the chair that you're not engaging and working the legs. So with the hands on the chair, let the lower abdomen lift up, move the front floating ribs in, lengthen the sternum from the base of the sternum forward, and almost feel like you're pulling the heel of the hands towards you. Bend the knees here again, and as you lift, really engage your quadriceps. Find that length through the sides. So feel as if the hips are being pulled back as the chest, this armpit area moving forward. Lengthening the sides, lengthening the spine. So it's not just, dropping into the back, but can we really create length to our spine? From here, maintaining that. So the arms should feel that they're connecting, they're active, stepping back. Palms are kind of suction to the chair. You may even bend the knees, lift the sitting bones up, lift the heels up, bend the knees, and then as you begin to descend the heels down, engage the quadriceps and elongate even more through the sides. Keep the head between the arms. So again, we're not hanging in, shoulders, neck, wrists. You're pressing down to almost lift up more and elongate. This is a forward extension, not just a forward bend, how far we can, go down. We're extending more and more and more. From here, as you press the palms down, bring those front floating ribs in, look forward. Lifting the right knee up, we're going to step forward, and then we're going to step back. Same to the other side, step forward, the opposite leg, and step back. And just repeat that a couple of more times each side. Let's get a flow to your breath. And I'm barely touching that front foot down right now. We're pushing off, kind of rolling off the back toe mounds. Come back and just pause here for a few breaths. If you need to take a moment to come up and stand in Tadasana, do so. Your wrists, shoulders, back need a bit of a break. You can come to Tadasana. Otherwise, stay in this half forward bend, elongating. This next time, as we repeat, we're going to change it just a little bit. So I'm pressing the palms down, lifting, looking forward, rolling off the back foot, bringing the knee up almost to touch either the elbow or even the upper arm, and coming back. Okay. You can repeat foot forward if that's better for your body today, okay? Otherwise, we're kind of rolling off that back toe mount. See if we can bring the knee up a little bit higher. Two more, so one more each side. Come back to that half forward bend. Again, come into mountain pose if you need for a few breaths. See if you elongate a little bit more. You can increase, maybe step back just a little bit more. Bend the knees here again. Even lift the heels and descending the heels, straighten the legs. Really lengthen from the inner arm. As we look up, we're going to now keep that connection of the palms, the feet. I'm going to step the feet in here a little bit. So it almost feels like you're beginning to round and it should come up more into your upper back. And then as we come up, I'm going to step the right foot up onto the chair. Okay. I've kind of brought that back heel up, can descend that down, come up into standing. So take a little bit of balance and we'll see if we can extend the arms up. Keep that length. Think of all that length you created when we had the hands on the chair. Really lifting up, pull that front heel towards you, really engage and connect from the lower abdomen up. And we'll come back down, hands to the chair, stepping back. Bend the knees as we press the palms, get that rounding, and try and bring that into the upper back. The shoulders stay away from the ears, but feel the spread more in the upper back, the lower abdomen scooping up. And then we'll step opposite foot forward. We bring the back heel down, coming up, pulling that front heel. Press your back thigh back. We try to pull the front heel. So you're really engaged, not just the quadricep, but the hamstring. Let those outer hips move in towards each other, reaching up. Bring the hands back down. We'll step back. You might need to adjust the feet back a little bit more. You can bend the knees here again. Elongate and straighten if you're able to. Looking forward again. Walk the feet in just a little bit. Begin to round in that upper back, the lower abdomen scooping up. We'll step in right foot forward. This time I'm going to bring the right hand to the inner right foot. And here you might want your block. And we'll turn a little bit to the side. Your front outer hip comes under, lengthen from that inner thigh to inner knee. You're almost pushing your right elbow into the knee, revolving. Stamp that back foot down through the floor. Really tighten that kneecap, engaging the thigh muscle. So we don't want to just be falling, into the chair right now. And actually pushing the front foot down, plugging the front thigh bone in, rolling this back inner groin out so that my back knee points forward. Bring the left hand to the hip. You might stay here. Or if you can, extend the top arm. So we're creating still that length through the sides, both sides. Looking up. Move your front hip under. We'll come back around. You might want to just leave the block there if you feel you have enough space on your chair. We'll step back, round here again. Get that space in the back ribs. Step the opposite foot forward. Hand can come onto the chair or block. You have to turn the back foot a little bit. So here you can see from the back side, this outer hip, we don't want it to just stick out behind. We want to move it under and push my arm a little bit into the inner knee to lengthen. Firm on that back leg. Rolling this top shoulder back. Not letting the head hang down, but keeping that length. Back of the skull, spine, tailbone in line, and then maybe extending the top arm. Look forward first, bring the arm down, and then we'll turn back, step that front foot back. Come back into that half forward bend, look forward. We'll bring the block down to the floor just so we have more space. Walk the feet in here a little bit, again, coiling from the tailbone, so the tailbone moves under. Feel the upper back round a little bit. So it's not that we're hunched, but there's a spreading feeling in the back ribs, looking forward. So now I'm going to try and take my hands off of the chair and step the right foot forward. You can maybe sweep the arms around behind, pause at your modified kind of warrior one shape here, tailbone under, slightly lift the front hip bones up, almost lean back a little bit of a back bend here. We'll bring the hands back to the chair. This time, if you can, the hand to the outer foot, and you will just revolve here, the hand to the outer foot. So you might need to adjust. You might need the block for your hand and extending. So now I'm pushing the thigh into the arm, front hip coming under, lengthening. We come back. I'm going to come up and see if I can step into mountain pose. We'll extend the arms up, coming forward, hands to the seat of the chair, coiling here a little bit. And again, I'm going to try and step the opposite foot onto the chair, but without my hands there. So as I come up, hands come off, so it's a bit more of a balance to step the foot, sweep the arms around, so there's a rotation, the shoulder, inner arm rolling out, coming up and around, firm that back leg, pressing back, pull the front heel. Okay, so I've kind of pulled the chair, so I'm plugging the thigh bone in, tailbone moving under, maybe just a mini kind of back bend here, hand coming to the outer foot, turning the back leg, the standing leg. So it's a little bit closer, you know, positioning. You may want a little more space. And then as we come back around, we'll see if we can step back to mountain pose and take a few breaths. So you can, you know, repeat on that sequence. You could add, you know, different variations. You could just keep repeating it a few times and really build up some strength, some momentum, and just work your breath with the sequence. So maybe we'll just do a couple more, and you could stop here for today if you wanted, or if you want to include a few more rounds, you could do so. So we'll start now facing the chair. Inhale, we'll extend the arms up. Exhale, hands to the seat of the chair, so we're in the flat back. Stepping, or now you can even jump back into more of a downward dog or half forward bend, and we're, you know, stepping forward and back, forward and back. Going with your breath, rolling off the back foot. Okay? Back of the toe onto the front. Pause for a few breaths. So your options here again would be to step forward, swing the arms around, bring the arms up, or now if you're able to, you may need to move the feet in a little bit. So as I come forward, stepping the foot onto the chair, coming up, warrior one. Let's just bring the forearm to this top thigh, kind of a side angle. We'll come back around, step back to our mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, extending forward. Stepping the foot either to the floor, or if you can, coming up to the chair, arms coming around. Turning a little bit of a side angle pose. And then we can come back and step back to mountain pose. And take a few breaths. Just to cool down here a little bit, I'll move the chair a bit from the wall. We'll come to sit on the chair. You can take that block again and bring it just between the inner feet, inner edge of the feet. Come to the front edge of your chair. Really feel the sitting bones on the front edge of the chair. And we'll add a little bit of a seated twist here. Really keep the sides lifting, chest lifting, Sternum coming over the top of the thighs, sacrum moving in and up, but the tailbone, sitting bones move down as we turn. Hand can stay, left hand can stay on the left knee, or maybe you can bring it to the outer right knee, or maybe you keep it in to the inner left knee. Okay. Go to where it's best for your body today. Pressing the hand into the knee into the hand, revolving from the base of the spine up, broaden the collarbones, bend the back elbow a little bit. Lean back slightly as you move the shoulder blades in. Look over the back shoulder. Look over the front shoulder. We look forward, come back to center. Once again, you can bring the hands to the sides, lifting up. Tailbone, sitting bones move down, but the sacrum moves in and up, kidneys move in, those back ribs move in. We lift this armpit from the back to the front, and we're turning. And you can keep same hand to knee or to the inner knee, maybe the hand coming to the outer knee, revolving from the base of the spine up, broaden the collarbones, looking over the back shoulder, looking over the front shoulder. Bring the head back more neutral, and then we can release. Sit for just a few breaths. And then if you would like to, and you have the time, to just come down to the floor for a moment, bring the bolster onto the chair. We'll come down onto the floor. Sweep so that the calves are on the chair. Bring the bolster onto the shins. Take a block behind the back of the head and neck. Lift the hips here a little bit, lengthen the tailbone away from you. Again, let the abdomen soften. Move the shoulders towards the floor. Support the back of the skull, the brain stem supported. So you move the shoulders down. You might be able to move the shoulder blades in more. The palms be soft and relaxed. The corners of the mouth soften, the corners of the eyes relax. Even feel, the diaphragm all moving to the sides, to the sides, to the sides. The whole body smiling. That softness in the throat, the jaw and tongue. Let the arms and legs release out evenly from the midline. And really see that midline starts from the top of the head. So the right and left hemisphere, even of the brain, that you feel centered from that point down. Right and left sides, front to back, back to front. Stay if you can for a few minutes, and then as you release, you can bend the knees, the bolster, just slide down and move it to one side. Use the arm as a pillow, roll to the side, roll towards the floor to come up to sitting. Sit on some height if you need, but just take a few moments sitting.